This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. The Pope has softened on blessing same-sex unions. Pope Francis has suggested there could be ways to bless same-sex unions, responding to 5 conservative cardinals who challenged him to affirm church teachings on homosexuality ahead of a big meeting where LGBTQ Catholics are on the agenda. The Vatican published a letter Francis wrote to the cardinals on July 11th after receiving a list of 5 questions or dubia from them a day earlier. In it, Francis suggests that such blessings could be studied if they don't confuse the blessing with sacramental marriage. In his new letter, Francis reiterated that matrimony is a union between a man and a woman. But responding to the cardinal's question about homosexual unions and blessings, he said pastoral charity requires patience and understanding. Francis added that there is no need for dioceses or bishops' conferences to turn such pastoral charity into fixed norms or protocols, saying the issue could be dealt with on a case-by-case basis because the life of the Church runs on channels beyond norms. Francis DeBernardo, Executive Director of New Ways Ministry, welcomed the Pope's openness. The 5 cardinals, all of them conservative prelates from Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Americas, had challenged Francis to affirm church teachings on gays, women's ordination, the authority of the Pope, and other issues in their letter. Yay, Pope Francis. To say that we are followers of Jesus and believers in his teachings, I'm glad to see that he's moving into a direction where he says love before he says anything else. The conservative bishops and cardinals and all the rest of the folk in the church are always going to be a step behind their people. And I think that's something that we have to pay attention to. Their people, their flock, those who are supposed to be following them, have moved away from hate language and are finding ways to find love language more and more often. For me, it's one of those things where the church, Catholic Church, moves like a glacier. You may not see it move, but it is moving. And when it takes almost 2,000 years to make decisions about Mary Magdalene forever had been called a wanton woman, and all of a sudden in the 1900s it was discovered, oh no, she was really a nice person. So there are things in the church that happen that will happen on their schedule, and I like that Pope Francis is at least challenging the most conservative of his flock to say, wait a minute, we are supposed to be preaching love. And if someone has found a relationship that works for them, why are we bothering them? We don't have to necessarily believe and understand what they are doing, but we have to believe in understanding that this is how they were created, and this is how they are living their true lives.
I'm always perplexed, amused, agog, aghast, that...
derail.
You know, I have feelings about an institution, an army, a planet of celibate men defining what marriage is and what healthy sexuality is. First of all, that when these people start talking, like, why don't we just laugh out loud anyway? Like, stay in your lane. You know what I mean? So yeah, that when people who've taken a vow of celibacy want to tell you what human sexuality and intimacy and relation and commitment and covenant has to look like, and it's one man and one woman. Every nun I've ever known wears a wedding ring because she's married to Jesus. Jesus apparently got a lot of wives. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so silly. It's so ridiculous. So this pastoral charity, that sounds kind, but it still comes from privilege. I can choose to be kind to you. You may not necessarily deserve it, but we should be the kind of good people that are nice to even you, wretched heathens. None of it sits right with me. And I understand. I honestly believe that Francis means well, and that he is kinder than any of his predecessors about this. That he is trying to work with tradition and with church laws, but also with and for anybody who's marginalized or hurt or wounded. He thinks this pastoral approach is the way to do that. He's made more effort than anyone else, God bless him. There's even been closeted popes that didn't do this much. And so God bless him. But nothing short of affirmation, full, unqualified affirmation, is ever going to be good enough for me. And and even that idea, we can pray over people. Okay, fair enough. But don't you let them think it's a marriage. You know what? You can get on the bus, but don't think you're sitting up in the front. That never feels right to me. That never sounds right, and it's never enough. From a certain perspective, it is a step in the right direction, but that it's taking place well into the 21st century is appalling. That this first step should have happened in the Middle Ages.
Hello.
Bless him for his efforts. Thank him for that step. But as soon as I heard pastoral charity, it's like I've just been othered.
Right?
Oh, I like that. Yes.
You have just othered me by saying I have to be treated pastorally with charity because I don't fit what you say is the norm. And so I guess I get the approach, and language is power. It sends a clear message. We're trying to get there, but we got to treat you like a charity first, because that's what we really think you are. And I'm surprised about the three things that they wanted to question the Pope on was gays, women ordination, and the authority of the Pope.
Which they're not to accept in this matter.
Exactly. Right. So if the Pope just came out and decreed, okay, we got same-sex blessings and weddings and everything, y'all get over it, what are they going to do with that? Yeah. His tenure may be shorter if he came out and did that, I don't know. But it's like, why aren't you talking about hunger and poverty and healthcare issues and environment? And maybe that's on the agenda. But these are three of the things that they wanted him to talk about before the meeting even began. What's your position on this?
Yes.
Politicking.
How can this man in charge be even more in charge? Right. This papal authority. And how can these men make sure that women don't join their club? And how can these celibate men decide what is sexually appropriate and how marriages ought to work? This is just one big, huge, laughable experiment in irony. But everybody takes it so seriously. And I just refuse. I just laugh at it. Ha, 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 ha.
That's the real. We are excited to tell you about our next adventure with our global fellowship. In 2024, we will be going to where the hills are alive as we explore Austria and Alpine Europe for Gay Oktoberfest. Space is extremely limited, so make sure to go to happeningout.travel/sunshine to reserve your space now.
Would you like to join the Queer God Squad on a special winter cruise in 2024? Well, now you can. You will visit Cozumel, Mexico, Grand Cayman, and Ocho Rios. And you can even add an open bar and Wi-Fi. Join us by going to happeningout.travel/sunshine.